everybody, and happy Monday. As always, if you have your morning cup of coffee, I invite you to enjoy it with me. And as you can see by the title of today's training, we are going to be going over the 3 types of content to produce each week on LinkedIn and why. So, as always, if you are coming on live, please do hop into the chat and say hi and where you are tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay if you are coming in on the replay. But please do not forget to tag some people and share this video so more people within your networks can be educated and informed by this content, so everyone starts using and utilizing LinkedIn better. Good morning. Good to see people jumping on. Also, if you are on the replay, obviously hashtag replay so I can go back and say hi. And we're going to be talking about some important information today. So a question that always comes up, whether someone is new to LinkedIn or not, hey Rochelle, good to see you jumping on, is what should I actually be posting on LinkedIn? You know, should I be posting quote tiles? Should I be posting inspirational type stuff? Scotty, good to see you, brother. Man, long time since I've seen that name. So Scott is the person who first introduced me to poutine, which is a Canadian delicacy. He was kind enough to pick me up at the airport. God, this is going back, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And we went out to a great dinner, just had a great weekend together. So hope everything is going great with you and the family, Scott. Good to see you jumping on. So again, you know, people always ask, you know, what should I be putting out there? A lot of people feel that, you know, they should just be doing what they're doing on Facebook and Instagram. And, you know, in certain cases, in certain instances, I would agree with that. I would say, you know, yes, you know, life was never the same. That is true. You know, there is some content that can be spread across multiple platforms. So if something is very relevant to the market and the network that you're building on Facebook and Instagram, it could be repurposed and put out on LinkedIn. I always like to tell people that you need to really put LinkedIn in a class of its own. It's not Facebook, it's not Instagram, it's not TikTok, it's LinkedIn. It's its own animal. And a lot of the things that people ask me is, you know, what should I be putting out on LinkedIn? What should I be doing on there? So I always like educating and informing people on this because I want people to use the platform, A, the right way, but B, I want to see them get results. So again, if you're jumping on late, before I dive in, hop into the chat, say hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay if you are coming in on the replay. But also feel free to tag some people, share this video, but do not forget to engage, like, love, insightful, whatever you would like to do in the video. But also head over to my profile after we're done, click my notification bell so you are notified of when I do go live, which are Mondays and Thursdays between 10 and 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But all the other content that I put out Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Now, so let's get into this. The 3 types of content that you should be producing. First and foremost is you should be doing a weekly educational and informational LinkedIn Live or native video. Now, I will also say that video is probably the thing that people are most afraid of and scared to do on all of social media, not even just classifying LinkedIn. Everyone is afraid to do, a lot of people, that's their biggest hang up, is going live or doing a video, seeing themselves on camera. They don't want to sound stupid. They think they look weird. They don't like how their voice sounds, all of those things. Those are all things that we just need to get over. Something is only difficult the first time that you do it. Because once you do it for the first time, you've proven that you can do it, and it gets easier and easier and easier. Now, video is still the number one way to build connection, rapport, trust, relationships, all of those things that are required to really grow a successful business that's built around serving and helping other people. So if you're going to really want to have the edge or move the needle of your business forward in a more streamlined fashion, doing a weekly video, much like I'm doing today, it could be an educational or informational LinkedIn Live or native video. So type Y or yes in the chat box if you currently go live once a week at least, or upload a native video, which means you pre-record it and then upload it later to LinkedIn. So Y or yes in the chat box, or N or no if you don't, which is okay. I want to help everybody work through this so they can really see the value added benefit to really doing video. Now, one of the main reasons why you also want to do video each week on LinkedIn is you want to do something that separates you from other people. You want to put yourself out there in a way where you're able to be differentiated by other people in your space. So something that I always talk about is being a salmon in a world of fish. If you're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, what are you really doing to separate yourself from other people? Now, I'm not saying that there's no other LinkedIn educators and trainers out there like myself, but what I can tell you is I make it a point to lift the veil on what needs to be done. I always look to give as much value as possible because there are some LinkedIn coaches out there that don't. They're just selling and pitching. They really withhold a lot of the beneficial information, so they actually aren't leaving their audience in the best way possible. But for me, what I always look to do, and what my goal every single time I do a LinkedIn Live or a video in general, is to leave my audience better, is to give them some tangible things. Now, if you're doing a LinkedIn Live, you want to keep that video, that training, between 15 to 25 minutes. And you want to make sure that you're talking about things that your audience actually wants to know. So I talk about something called the passenger side perspective, which is the person on the other side of the computer screen. So what a lot of people end up doing is they're passionate about what they're passionate about for business. So it's easy for them to hop on there and talk about what they love most. But it always doesn't get the best engagement, meaning there's a lot of people that are not resonating with it because you actually aren't speaking to something that they want to know about. So just to give you an example, I asked a question over the weekend to my audience of, what type of content do they most engage with? And I gave a couple different options. So what I felt like doing was, okay, so now that my audience has kind of let me know what it is that they engage most with, why don't I do a video training on the 3 best types of content to produce on LinkedIn based on the responses that I saw within that poll? So again, when you're doing a video, even if it's pre-recorded and you're educating and informing people on something that you're passionate about, make sure the information that you're providing is filling a gap or a hole or a void in that person's life or business, not just talking about something that you know. So whatever it is that your zone of genius is, explain to people why it's important for them to know this. Don't just talk about, oh, this is great and that's great because of this. Really put yourself in the shoes of the person that's struggling in a certain way. But again, you always want to talk about things from a broad perspective in the sense that you really want to understand where that passenger side perspective is, where that person is. Pretend like they don't know anything about what it is that you're talking about. What is the simplest way that you can get across your point where you're educating and informing them, where you're going to leave them better. They're going to be able to take that information, do something with it, where they're going to see a result in their life or business. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the comments below. Again, if you've come on late, please do say hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay if you are coming in on the replay. But please do not forget to tag some people, share this video, like, love, insightful, engage in this, but also don't forget to head over to my profile after we're done. Tap on my notification bell. Make sure it's grayed out, it's not open. Make sure it's grayed in and filled out, so you'll get notified of all of the content that I produce Monday through Saturdays. Now, the second thing that you want to do. So let's say Monday you do a video. Wednesday, do a LinkedIn poll to find out what the pain points are of your audience. So a lot of people are misusing LinkedIn polls. They are doing them more as clickbait, where they're not really leveraging them the right way, in the sense that they're not seeing the true value of what a LinkedIn poll is. LinkedIn polls are amazing because if you're building the right kind of audience and you ask the right kind of question to your audience, it's going to prompt you to get the right kind of answers. So going back to my example that I gave earlier, is I asked a question to my audience this past weekend is, what type of content are you most likely to engage with? Video, posts, polls, or articles? And people said they most engage with posts. So for me, I'm like, okay, people aren't seeing the value of video, polls, and newsletters. So what did I say in my mind? Okay, let me hop on live on Monday and do a training on why video, polls, and newsletters are the three most impactful types of content you can produce on LinkedIn. So obviously, it was an area that my network was not only struggling with, they didn't know the value of. So what am I supposed to do? Hop on here and provide value-added information and educated based on the pain points of the audience, because maybe people are afraid to do video. Maybe they're not sure what it is, the reason why they should be doing LinkedIn polls in the first place. What if they're not really sure, why should I be doing a LinkedIn newsletter? Maybe I should just do polls. Well, again, I understand all of that. But the fact is that LinkedIn polls are used for one of the most important aspects of our business, market research. How are you supposed to know what certain people are struggling with or what they need help with if you don't ask them? Questions lead to answers. You've heard me say this before. You have to ASK to GET. So if you do a weekly poll on Wednesdays, asking your audience a specific question around a pain point that you know that they're struggling with, it's going to help you create additional content. It could be something as simple as, what is the biggest area of struggle within your business right now? Number one, not having enough phone calls. Number two, generating no leads. Three, not understanding what content to post. Four, other, comment below. Or it could be, what area of your health and wellness are you struggling most with? Number one, eating well. Number two, working out. Number three, hydration. Four, other, comment below. But focus on your specific zone of genius, your area of expertise, and write down some pain points. So again, if people are like, well, what do I say? How do I know what poll to create? Write down the known pain points of the areas of expertise that you have. So for people that are on here live or on the replay, if you're on here live, type in the chat box known areas of pain points that people have within your network that you help solve. So again, if I was a health and wellness professional, which I was, I would say, people within my network are struggling with losing weight. They're struggling with working out consistently. They're struggling with getting proper nutrition. They're struggling with getting enough water intake throughout the day. They're struggling with sleeping enough. So for those that are on here live and on the replay, type in the chat box, what are some of the known pain points or areas of struggle that your network has that you can educate those people on? Dealing with senior leaders. Awesome. So that is a great topic. So you can create a poll saying, what is your biggest frustration when it comes to dealing with senior leaders? Number 1, this. Number 2, that. Number 3, this. 4, other, comment below. A great poll could be, what do you find is the biggest area of struggle in hiring the right people for your organization? 1, qualifying the right people. 2, getting the right people to apply. 3, something else. 4, other, comment below. So again, you write down those pain points. Now you can create content from it. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the comments below. And I'm not sure who wrote that just because it's saying Facebook user, but those were phenomenal examples. So I'm going to just put them on the screen. So dealing with senior leaders and hiring people. And you're so welcome. So glad that helped. So again, think about some of those known pain points that people are struggling with. And someone just put knowing that they have toxins in their home and mitigating them. So that a simple thing can be when it could be a yes or no. Do you know about the great deal of toxins that are currently in your house? Yes or no. And it could be a simple yes or no. Or, are you knowledgeable of the different toxicities that are presented in our house? Or, which way, what method has helped you mitigate your toxicity in your household? Number 1, this. Number 2, this. Number 3, that. So again, think about the pain points that people have that they want solved for and create polls around it. Market research is everything because it leads to deeper education. Now, so again, for those that are jumping on late, number 1, educational and informational LinkedIn Lives or native videos. You can do that on Monday. On Wednesday, LinkedIn polls to find out what pain points your audience has. Once you find out what that pain point is and what you see people voting most for, now you can create long-form LinkedIn newsletters or articles to give deeper education and information to your audience. This is something that I do every single Friday. I have a newsletter called LinkedIn Tips and Updates, and it's where I'll take content that I did for today. An example, I did 3 types of content to produce on LinkedIn. So what I'll do is on Friday I'll actually write a newsletter edition saying the 3 best types of content to produce on LinkedIn and why. And then I'll type more deeper into, so again, I'm speaking it to you right now. So what I can do is I can write this newsletter and, just give a little narrative of, why people need to be doing each of these. And here are 3 types of content to produce. Number 1, LinkedIn Live or native video. And then I can write a little paragraph description of why they should be doing it. So again, deeper education and information. Number 2, LinkedIn polls, give some deeper education and information. And number 3, newsletters, articles, and give some deeper information on that information. So again, and here's another reason why. So I've had my newsletter now for about 6 months. 6 months-ish. And I have over 6,000 subscribers to my newsletter, which super, super grateful for. And what I can tell you is why I love it so much is because my newsletter is now searchable online, meaning Google, Yahoo, Bing, which drives more traffic to it. The second thing is the more subscribers that you get when you release a new newsletter, which I always recommend to do once a week, LinkedIn emails every single one of your subscribers your newsletter edition. And what you can do is you can put a simple call to action in your newsletter. If interested in my information, book a free consultation here. Interested in how people work with me, schedule a call on my calendar here. Interested in up-leveling your business here, click here to download my free guide on how to do so. Now, you're turning your newsletter into a lead generator. Because again, GDPR regulations, we can't download the email addresses of our LinkedIn contacts. But because LinkedIn wants to enable us to connect with people offline, that's why they email everybody that subscribes to your newsletter the edition. And all you have to do is put that call to action with a link in the body of your newsletter. And now you're able to connect with people offline. Now they're downloading your free guide. They're booking a call on your calendar. They're booking a call to find out how they can work with you. So now your weekly newsletter, not only is it educating and informing your audience, but now it's generating leads and income into your business. So if that makes sense, drop a Y or a yes in the chat box. Again, if you've come on late, please do say hi and where you're tuning in from, or hashtag live, hashtag replay. If you are coming in on the replay, don't forget to like, love, support, insightful, whatever emojicon you want to use. But also, please don't forget to go to my profile after we're done and tap my notification bell on the right-hand side so you are notified of all the content that I do release Monday through Saturday on LinkedIn. Now, again, just a reminder, the three things. Number one, Mondays, do an educational or informational LinkedIn Live or native video. LinkedIn Live, 15 to 25 minutes. Native video, 2 to 4 minutes max. Wednesdays, do a LinkedIn poll to find out what pain points that your audience has and what you can solve for. And when you get those answers, create a long-form LinkedIn newsletter edition or article to give deeper education and information to your audience. So again, type in the chat box below which of these three tips or what was your biggest takeaway from today's training. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's training. Love and gratitude to each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.